On a quiet Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, the skies over Pearl Harbor erupted into chaos as the first waves of Japanese bombers descended, transforming tranquility into a scene of unprecedented destruction. In mere minutes, ships lay in ruins and lives were irrevocably altered, marking the United States' plunge into a global conflict. Today, as we remember the sacrifice and the resolve forged in the fires of that fateful day, we must also confront the shadows of complacency that threaten our modern readiness. As the world stood on the precipice of war, the geopolitical landscape of the late 1930s was rife with tension. Nations grappled with the aftermath of the Great Depression, while totalitarian regimes expanded their reach, casting a long shadow over the Pacific. In this charged atmosphere, the United States, once an isolationist power, began to reconsider its place on the global stage, setting the stage for an unprecedented confrontation that would change the course of history. As the world stood on the precipice of war, the geopolitical landscape of the early 20th century was fraught with tension and uncertainty. The rise of militarism in Japan, coupled with the encroaching shadows of fascism in Europe, set the stage for a global conflict that would forever alter the course of history. In this charged atmosphere, the United States grappled with its isolationist policies, unaware that the attack on Pearl Harbor would irrevocably shift its role on the world stage. As the world emerged from the ashes of World War II, the lessons learned from Pearl Harbor reverberated through the corridors of power, shaping military strategies and foreign policies for decades to come. The attack served as a stark reminder of vulnerability, prompting nations to reevaluate their defenses and alliances in an increasingly complex geopolitical landscape. Yet the ghosts of December 7th, 1941 linger still, urging contemporary leaders to confront the paradox of preparedness amid the specter of complacency. As we delve deeper into the echoes of Pearl Harbor, we uncover the shifting tides of military strategy and national policy that have emerged in its wake. The lessons learned from December 7th, 1941 have not only shaped our understanding of preparedness, but have also forged a legacy of vigilance that reverberates through the corridors of power today. In the shadow of a day that forever altered the course of history, the United States has evolved, grappling with the complexities of modern warfare and the ever-present specter of surprise attacks. Thus, the remembrance of Pearl Harbor serves not merely as a solemn reflection, but as a clarion call for contemporary readiness against the threats of an unpredictable world. As the echoes of December 7th reverberate through the corridors of time, the world stands on the edge of a new precipice. Tensions simmer beneath the surface, with nations eyeing each other warily, their intentions cloaked in shadows. The lessons of Pearl Harbor linger ominously, a reminder that complacency can lead to devastation. As the stakes rise and alliances shift, the specter of history looms large, urging leaders to confront the realities of modern warfare and the fragility of peace. As the echoes of December 7th reverberate through time, tensions rise within the corridors of power. Military leaders scrutinize the lessons of history, while policymakers grapple with an uncertain future, balancing old rivalries against new threats. The stark reality is that complacency can be as dangerous as an open front, and the specter of Pearl Harbor looms large, urging vigilance in an increasingly volatile world. As the echoes of December 7th reverberate through time, the specter of Pearl Harbor looms large over today's geopolitical landscape. The lessons of history are not mere echoes, they are urgent warnings, underscoring the fragility of peace and the relentless march of ambition. With rising tensions across the globe, nations grapple with the looming specter of conflict, each move on the chessboard fraught with peril and consequence. If you find this video insightful, please consider subscribing to support this channel. In this high-stakes arena, the past is not forgotten, but rather a relentless shadow that shapes the present and dictates the future. As the echoes of December 7th reverberate through time, the world stands on the precipice of a new era of power dynamics. Nations, like restless titans, maneuver through the shadows, each seeking to assert dominance in a landscape fraught with tension and uncertainty. The lessons of Pearl Harbor resonate beyond mere historical remembrance, shaping contemporary strategies and alliances as old rivalries resurface, igniting a fierce competition for influence and security. As we reflect on the echoes of December 7, 1941, the chessboard of global power dynamics remains ever-shifting. Nations engage in a delicate dance of diplomacy and military posturing, each move calculated to fortify their standing against potential adversaries. In this modern age, the lessons of Pearl Harbor resonate, reminding us that vigilance is not merely a relic of the past, but a pressing necessity in an increasingly volatile world. As we stand on the precipice of modern geopolitics, the echoes of Pearl Harbor remind us that vigilance is a constant in the theater of international relations. In today's world, nations maneuver like chess pieces, each strategic alliance and rivalrous stance poised for the next move. As the specter of history looms large, the lessons of 1941 reverberate through the corridors of power, compelling leaders to assess their readiness against the unpredictable tides of conflict. As the sun dips beneath the horizon, casting shadows over the hallowed grounds of Pearl Harbor, we stand at a precipice between remembrance and readiness. The ghosts of December 7, 1941 whisper warnings, urging us to confront the lessons of our past. Today, as we honor those lost, we must also recognize that the tides of geopolitical tension rise once more, demanding a vigilant response in an era fraught with uncertainty. As the sun sets on this solemn day of remembrance, we confront a haunting truth. The lessons of Pearl Harbor resonate far beyond the past. Today, the specter of complacency looms large as nations grapple with the specter of conflict and preparedness. In a world where history repeats itself, the echoes of December 7th serve as a clarion call for vigilance, reminding us that the shadows of yesterday can still cast their pall over our future. The aftermath of Pearl Harbor reverberated far beyond the shores of Hawaii, reshaping alliances and igniting a fervor of nationalism that would redefine nations. As the United States emerged from the ashes of surprise, a resolve was forged, altering the course of global politics and economics. Today, as we reflect on those fateful hours, we must also confront the enduring legacy of preparedness and vigilance, reminding us that the shadows of history still loom over our present and future. The attack on Pearl Harbor reverberated far beyond the shores of Hawaii, reshaping the global order and igniting a relentless pursuit of military readiness. Nations once complacent in their defenses were thrust into a dynamic arms race, while markets trembled at the specter of war. The human cost was immeasurable, as families mourned lost loved ones and economies transformed under the weight of conflict, forever altering the fabric of society. Today, as we reflect on that fateful day, we confront the enduring legacy it has carved into the psyche of nations and the very essence of our modern world. As we reflect on the solemnity of Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, we are reminded that the lessons of the past resonate with profound urgency in our present. The shadows of history urge us to remain vigilant, to honor the sacrifices made, and to ensure that our readiness is not merely a response to threats, but a commitment to peace. The echoes of valor from that fateful day compel us to forge a future where the price of freedom is never forgotten, and where the spirit of resilience guides our path forward. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next documentary.